back for another statue review. Today we have the XM Studios Batman Shogun. This is a piece I've had for a while. I got it literally the month that it was released. I had it pre-ordered for a while, and I initially just put it together, and it was such a daunting piece to put together with all the kind of pieces that I put it up on a shelf, and I didn't review it at the time, and I never really got around to it because it's so freaking heavy that I couldn't just pull it down and put it on the counter review. I had to like literally disassemble it and then put it all back together here on the counter. And the only reason I'm doing it now is because I'm packing everything up, as you can see, to move. So I'm excited to review this one. This is one of my favorite statues, in my opinion, and I know in the opinion of a lot of others. It's a grail. It's a statue that I would never remove from my collection, and it's also one of those statues that it's one of those few superhero statues that I think can hold its own and stand alone as just a beautiful piece of artwork, not related. So I mean, listen, there are a lot of fantastic statues. Prime 1 Superman is another Grail statue, for example. But I think that if it was, if you take that statue and it wasn't Superman and you just put it up, it wouldn't have the same sort of widespread appeal that something like this has with the horse and just the beauty and the ornate armor on him. So anyways, that's one of the things I really love about it. I'm going to first of all go into some of the switch outs while my lovely fiance here is holding the camera, because I can't switch out all this stuff and do it at the same time. So let's first get into switch outs. Come here and just take a look over here. There are a number of them, and they're not easy to take on and off. So that's why I kind of want to do this with both hands while I have someone helping me with the camera. So as you can see, there are 3 different portraits. There's the very like Shogun style, ancient Japan helmet. There's kind of something in the middle where you can see sort of the Batman cowl underneath a more simplified version of this Shogun helmet. And then there's the straight up just kind of Batman cowl with a little bit of stylization where you can see kind of, I don't know what you want to call these, like fangs or something. So it's kind of interesting. There's like 3 different, it's like a progression. So now what I'll do is I'll take off, and this arm here can be swapped out. This has the crossbow, and the other hand that's holding the reins of the horse can also be swapped out for a hand holding a samurai sword or a katana. But I'm not going to do that because that one's a bit complicated to get out. But what I will do is I'll switch this out to what I like the best, the combination that I like the best, which is the full Shogun helmet with this giant spear. So what you have to do is you take that portrait off first. Very gently put it down. Then you take the arm off and this little piece. And again, this has to be very gently put down. Boo, get out of here. Okay, you want water? Here, there's a little bit of water. Okay, now what you have to do is we'll take this arm, put it in place. Oh no, not again. This is a real problem. This is the second arm that this has happened with now, where the magnet inside comes right out of here. It happened on the other arm and I had to super glue it. I guess stop the video. I can't do this with it like this. That's annoying. Okay, we're back. That's a pain in the ass. So as you saw, this little magnet in here, you can come in and just zoom in on it, but this little magnet on the other arm just came out when I was taking the switch out off. It like stuck. I guess the magnet is so strong that it pulled the glue. And now this one as well, I had to, as you saw, when I pulled the other arm out, it came out with it. So I had to super glue it in. Hopefully now it'll stay in place. But what a pain in the ass. That's definitely a flaw. That is a flaw that you guys should know about. So now you do. Okay, keep your fingers crossed that this doesn't do the same thing. Well, it seems to be okay. It's not pulling out. Okay. So once you've got this arm in, put this little piece on, the shoulder guard, and then there's an extra bit somewhere that I'm, the hell, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, this one has it come separated, and then we'll put this portrait on. And as you can see, this portrait actually looks a different direction. It's kind of cool because each portrait looks in a different direction, so you can, depending on how you want to display him, you might want to choose a different portrait for what works for your display options. Anyways, this is definitely my favorite look. It's just, oh shoot. Usually it slides easier than that. But as you can see, I mean, this one you have to look at a little bit more from the front on. But just like, what an awesome look. Look at the movement in the horse. His head turning slightly to the right and his whole body kind of contorted slightly with the tail kind of following that line of movement all the way along. And I especially like him with this giant spear sort of jutting out the side. It just sort of breaks up that layer of movement and kind of gives it some more interest. Really, really cool. So let's take a look at the details now. Let me move away the super glue, which is a lifesaver. Actually, just before we do that, I'll very quickly show you that this is the other hand, the other left hand, and here's the katana. They can go in that hand as well. This is a piece that actually is supposed to go around the neck and hang there, but I'm not going to do that right now. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so now let's get into the details of this statue. And I mean, I'm just going to say straight up front here that it's the attention to detail in such a massive statue that makes this statue for me. There are some things that I don't like about the statue, to be perfectly honest. And I will go into them at the end, but I think that the whole is far more than the sum of its parts in this case, just because of the size and intricacy of every little part that is done well. So let's start with him. Again, you've seen his portraits, but let's just go into this again. I mean, look at the detail there. Very crisply done. There's so many overlapping pieces to this statue. You can see it in his helmet, and then, I mean, when you're putting it together, you saw how these two pieces of the shoulder overlap, and they're actually separate pieces you put on. Every bit of his armor is just multiple layers of armor folded and layered on top of each other. You can see in there's kind of looks like a bit of a mesh almost. And then there's these sort of metallic silver and gold layers, and then there's kind of that matte black Batman color, and then there's the silver of the spikes on his arm. There's detail in the pole arm here, or the pole. Every little piece of this statue is just dripping with detail, and it's all that same red and gold detail that I mentioned I liked so much in some of the other statues that I have. It just really pops. Red, gold, and black just looks so good together. Little hints of blue here and there, which are really nice as well as accents. But look at the detail in his breastplate. There's also a really nice, XM did a really good job with all of these, from what I've seen. This is the only samurai statue from their Batman Samurai line that I've seen in person. But from what I've seen, they've done a really fantastic job of melding, you know, this ancient armor look with some modern trappings. And I think that no statue embodies that like this statue, where the horse is almost like a biomechanical horse. You can see that his eye, it looks like there is some sort of living horse in there. I don't know if it's just some sort of a beast horse. Like, look at his face. But then it's perfectly melded in with
these mechanical pieces. Again, all these overlapping pieces of metal that make up this armor. You can see there's some blue in the mane as well, and that mane just looks so good. Look at how great that looks. Same with the tail. Let's just go over and look at the tail right now, but you can see that there's some blues in the tail as well, and there's just beautiful movement in that tail. Again, I mean, I could spend hours actually just going through all the details of this statue. Look under there, you can see little pads. It's just, the closer you look at this thing, the more you find things. I love this, the like mechanical, like, again, like bio-organic muscle strands in the legs, and then you get into the gears and the joints. There's even like a little strap where it looks like pieces of the armor are strapped around the metal trappings of this horse leg. It's just, this is one of those statues where you have to see it in person to just understand how remarkable it is. You know, like I said, I'm going to mention some things that I don't like about the statue, but none of it can even come close to detracting from the statue as a whole because of all of these details. Even in the front here, this is real fabric, and I think that was the right way to go. I don't know how you would pull off this sort of look without real string. But it doesn't look out of place. It looks natural because, you know, sometimes when you have string and things like that in a statue, it looks weird because the what's it called? Like the weaving of it looks too big for the scale. But this looks perfect. Like this is probably what actual ropes would look like on a horse of this size. Other side, it's of course more of the same. But on this side, here he's holding the rope. But on this side, you really get to see his cape, which is another sort of wonder of statue engineering because it's quite large, but it's really not actually that heavy. It looks like it could be fabric, you know. But it's not, of course. It's sculpted, but it's just the detailing in the texturing is just pulled off really well. Like I said, there is from the horse and Batman up. There's really not much to complain about. It's just so incredibly impressive. The only thing that I don't love on, when it comes to those two, is I don't love the skin, the exposed skin on the Batman portraits. There's a bit of I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a bit of a black, I wouldn't call it a wash, but you can see it's just sort of like, I don't know if it's supposed to be stubble or something, but there's kind of like a bit of a black detail on top of the skin color that I don't love. It's a little bit more pronounced on this one, I think. Even it's not terrible, but it doesn't really come across as stubble to me. It just sort of looks like his face is dirty. I don't know if you can see that. It's not bad, and it's definitely not noticeable unless you look really closely, but I'm just nitpicking here because this is just such an absolutely stand out statue that I'm just looking for, any little things I can comment on that I don't like. So there's that. Again, really not a big deal. What I don't like about this statue is the base. I understand where they're going with it. I think it's cool that they incorporated the Joker in here, obviously. So you've got, what looks like used to be some sort of a Joker themed rock sculpture that he's now standing on. It's crushed, and it has these sort of pikes which they actually used to use in ancient Japan, from what I understand. to keep soldiers or horses at bay. So it's kind of cool. I like that. The sculpting of it is not bad, and like these little bits where it's supposed to be dirt or whatever. I guess sculpting wise it's fine. I think the color could have been a little bit different. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I guess it's just supposed to be dirt and like broken down rock, but I think it could have had a little bit more brown in it, because it looks a little bit too uniform. But my biggest complaint with the base is that while I understand thematically why they went with the red, purple, and green, obviously they're Joker's colors, I really feel like it clashes a bit with the rest of the statue, because you have such regal colors up here. Like I said, the blacks and the golds and the reds with little hints of subtle blues. It's just so refined and beautiful and elegant looking. And then this just looks not elegant, for lack of a better explanation. It just looks kind of, it looks like clown colors, and it doesn't look refined. It's just big, solid colors of purple. There's not a lot of, it's fairly consistent in its color. Like there's a little bit of deeper and lighter purples, and same with the green, but it looks like, I don't know, just looks completely unrefined compared to what you see up here. And honestly, having a base unrefined can work to accent the statue above. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want the eyes to be on what's up here and not down there, no problem. But it's the unrefined colors that to me really clash. I think they could have done that a lot better. I think either they could have muted the colors considerably down here and added some more browns to pull some of the browny tones from the golds and the bronzes into here, and then just had little hints of the red, green, and purple, which would have, I think, made the whole statue a lot more cohesive. Or they could have just come up with a new idea for the base that didn't require the Joker colors. So for me, that's a miss. But again, like, look at this thing. When you see it as a whole, it's too beautiful to claim that the base detracts from it in any major way. When someone sees this in person, they're going to be going straight here and just looking at how stunning this statue is, and they're not going to be like, oh, I don't really know about this base. It's only when you look at it and with a more critical eye and you're trying to find faults that I think that you would notice something like that. But overall, this statue is just stunning. Look at this angle here. I noticed this just the other day. Like the horse really looks like it's in motion, like it's turning and kind of throwing its body into that turn. It's amazing. And the tail has that same sort of movement as if the horse is literally in motion, and it's maybe either just coming to a stop or doing like a hard turn, and then Batman here on top is just ready for action in whatever pose you have. I forgot to mention that this top of this katana actually comes out, because if he has the other katana, if you use the switch out where he has the katana in that hand, they were smart enough to actually remove or make this removable, so it makes sense. He's got an open scabbard there. I think that's really cool. That's something that just sort of anecdotal, but the Prime 1 Snake Eyes, was it Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow? Storm Shadow doesn't have that, the ability to pull the sort of handles out of these sheaths. So that's something that annoyed me with that statue, and that's something that I appreciate in this one. So anyways, guys, that's my review. I love this statue. I think that goes without saying. I don't think anybody that owns this statue doesn't love it. Again, there are some things that I would have changed if I were designing it, but man, you can't really fault it too much. It's just a beautiful, beautiful statue, and I think it's always going to be a grail of a statue. But give me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Do any of you have it? If you do, what do you think of it? Do you agree that the base could have been executed a little better? I like hearing from you, so please do comment. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, guys, later. Unbelievable. Sorry, babe. Are you still filming?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You didn't stop it?
No. Say bye, boo.